I think that there must have been some truth to the claims that Atsuyu was making.
I agree. Your description makes him sound totally different from what I've heard of him.
Well, it just goes to show that you can never really rely on gossip, can you?
But you still haven't explained what you meant earlier. Why did you refer to Atsuyu as your other self?
Now, don't rush me. I will get to it eventually. Listening, Yoko?
Huh? Yes.
Atsuyu's father was known as a bit of a coward. Under the direct order of Kyo-o, he oppressed his people. Eventually, Atsuyu could take no more, so he overthrew his father and ended up governing the Gen province himself. If you consider that Kyo-o brought about as much suffering to the land as a war or disaster, well then you could say that Atsuyu saved his people from a catastrophe.
Anyone should be able to infer the state of the whole kingdom by looking at Rokusui. Do you not agree with me?
A kingdom is very big. You cannot expect the entire land to be completely reformed overnight.
I've heard that His Majesty is often absent from cabinet meetings and the ministers are constantly trying to track him down, but he's nowhere to be found. I request that His Majesty give the provincial lords complete autonomy. After all, if he agrees, he'll have the liberty to fool around as much as he likes.
That's not how a kingdom's supposed to be run. If each lord was allowed to have their own policies, it wouldn't solve a thing. Even with the flood under control, you might save the people upstream at the expense of those living downstream.
Regardless, something clearly has to be done about the situation. Couldn't His Majesty simply entrust his authority to someone else?
Taiho! Huh? You don't need to listen to a word that traitor says. What he has just suggested is utter heresy. This entire world was created by Tente, and it is Tente who establishes all things. That includes having a Kirin, the will of the people, choose the ruler. If he rejects the nature of this world, then it's the same as rejecting its very existence.
It was the Kirin that chose Kyo-o, was it not? You seem to have forgotten about that.
Meaning what?
If indeed, as you say, Tente really exists, then I would like it brought before me. I will make myself clear once and for all. This Tente you speak of does not exist, and even if it did, we have no need for it here.
Oh, I see. What you're saying then is that it's a mistake to let the Kirin select the ruler in the first place, am I right?
Let me ask you, Taiho. Are you absolutely confident that the present king is the best choice to rule the kingdom?
No, I'm not.
Taiho!
When I first met Shoryu, I had no doubt he was the king.
Then why?
I knew he'd be the king who would destroy N. If what you're asking me to do is create an authority higher than the king, I can't help you. Although if you simply wanted me to take away all the king's authority, I might have assisted you. Everyone should have the right to be their own master, don't you think? Yet no matter what power rules over the people, it will oppress them.
You don't see things my way. How unfortunate.
That we agree on, Atsuyu.
Baku Koya is the head of military affairs in Gen.
So it is Gen after all.
How many units do they have?
Just one, but it has nearly 12,500 soldiers.
It could be a problem.
Sounds like a bluff. I'm sure they could barely gather 7,500 men. And if you include those from conscription, your total is 10,000 tops. There's no way the army's larger than that.
We still need solid proof that it's Gen province.
But what if something should happen to the Taiho?
I request the mobilization of the Royal Army.
Where are you going, Your Majesty?
You guys don't need me here, so I'll go take a nap. By the way, prepare a royal ordinance for me. I'm dismissing all of you and the Sanko.
What? Why would you do that? Are you insane?
I'm tired of looking at your faces. And Seisho, I want you to inform the Chosai that there will be a special conference tomorrow.
Are you serious?
Of course, I am the king after all. Am I not allowed to do whatever I want to?
Your Majesty!
Don't worry, I'm only going out for a ride.
But Your Majesty, you always tell me that, so I let you go, and then you're nowhere to be found. I'll be demoted if this continues.
If that happens, I'll make sure you'll be well taken care of.
Your Majesty! Your Majesty!
Does this mean you do not like the king?
If that is the case, then maybe I can help you. Would you be happier if the king were gone?
You've misunderstood. I don't hate Shoryu. I simply don't like any kind of ruler, that's all. Kings, feudal lords, all of them. They only bring suffering to the people.
Unfortunately, that is just a part of human nature. People live depending on one another. If I were forced to depend on someone, I'd make sure they were very powerful.
So then, do you want a powerful leader?
I'm not a human. I was raised by the Yoma. And we Yoma do not live with other people.
Then why? Why are you working for Atsuyu?
That's a good question. You are right. Perhaps that means I am human after all. And maybe I have always wanted to be with others. There were times I thought that meeting with you was just a dream. When we first met, you weren't scared of me or Rokata at all. You were so friendly, and you talked to me. I'd never met anyone like you before.
Find him? No, me neither. I can't find him.
You can come out now, kid. The child's clearly frightened. Lower your weapons. Come. We mean no harm. We promise not to hurt you or the Yoma. I see you don't like to be touched. Fine. I won't do anything you don't like. There was a rumor of a beast with a tenkin roaming about these parts lately. I would have never imagined it was a little boy. So tell me, do you have a name, kid? And where have you been living?
It's Koya.
All right then, Koya. You can understand what I'm saying, so at least that's a good start. You're a smart boy. Oh, I'm sorry. I forgot that you don't like to be touched. What happened? Are you hurt? You have an infection. You'll have to get that treated. Someone bring some medicine over here. And one of you go call a doctor, too.
Yes, sir.
I am Atsuyu. Nice to meet you. Koya, why don't you come and stay with me?
And Rokuta. Can he come?
Of course he can.
So you see, Lord Atsuyu was the one who gave Rokuta and I a home.
I see. I suppose you consider Atsuyu your savior, then.
I do.
Well, I still want to try to avoid a war.
Then why don't you run?
No, there's no way I could do that.
I don't understand. You said that you didn't like rulers.
Koya, when we first met, you were searching for Horai. The truth is, I was born in Horai.
Really?
Yes, I was.
Tell me, what kind of place was Horai?
People seem to be always having wars there. In fact, I was left to die in the mountains.
You were?
Yeah. And just like you, I was abandoned in the woods. I was on the verge of dying, but then she came for me from Mount Ho. They told me I was supposed to choose a ruler. I couldn't believe it. I didn't want to do that. That's why I ran away. Back to a place where I didn't have to choose a ruler. But once I was there, I realized I had nothing to do and nowhere to go. So I headed to the west. And then I met Shoryu. When I look back, I don't know why I ran away. Was it really because I didn't want to have to choose a king? Or did I go to Horai because I knew that's where the king was? I can't really be sure, I suppose. But regardless, I serve Shoryu now, and I can't change that. Which means that if Atsuyu decides to lead a revolt, then you'll become my enemy too, Koya. I really don't want to be forced to fight against either you or your master. Listen, it's not too late. Please, stop Atsuyu.
I can't do that.
But Koya...
Lord Atsuyu knows the consequences, and he's still determined to go through with this. And so I can't stop him.
then there'll be a war. A lot of people will be affected, and a great many soldiers will lose their lives.
Yes, I know.
The Provincial Chief of Gen, In Hakutaku, reporting as ordered. I've come to inform you that the Taiho Enki is staying in the Gen province.
Yes, and so?
We'd like to request your majesty establish a rank higher than that of the king and appoint Lord Otsuyu to that position.
I see. So he did not want the throne, just to become superior than the king. How bold of him. Damn that Otsuyu! He should know that I am not so generous that I would give up what is rightfully mine. But if he returns Enki, I will be compassionate and allow him to take his own life. However, if he is going to persist in holding Enki hostage like this, then I will capture him and make sure that he is executed as a rebel.
I understand perfectly, Your Majesty.
Did you expect to return to the Gen province alive?
No.
Did Otsuyu order you to come and tell me all of this?
No, Your Majesty, he did not. I decided to come here on my own. I did not anticipate that one would be able to return from this mission, so I chose not to send someone younger than me as a result.
In these situations, it is customary to send the head of the messenger back to the provincial castle.
I've prepared myself for the worst, Your Majesty.
You're quite a brave one, aren't you? What would you say to a position working here at the royal court?
Forgive me, Your Majesty, but I serve the director of the Gen province.
And the director of the Gen province serves me, does he not?
Yes, Your Majesty, but Lord Otsuyu appointed me as chief. I hope you understand.
To my knowledge, Otsuyu wasn't even a provincial lord. He is the son of a provincial lord.
His father has already retired, and now all his authority resides with Lord Otsuyu.
So then the man is a double usurper. Each lord is appointed by the king, but he has taken power and now he wants the throne too.
Well, no matter what you may say, Your Majesty, the people of Gen have made up their minds.
Yes, I see. You may return to Gen.
Are you really going to let me return home, Your Majesty?
That's right, I am. And if you change your mind, maybe you can advise Otsuyu to reconsider.
I've realized that it's pointless to say anything to you!
Well, finally.
We barely have 12,500 men, and we will need to take all of them to the Gen province!
I cannot let you do that. We need to have Rokuta's consent to mobilize the army in the Sei province.
How can we do that when he's held captive?
I guess we can't now, can we?
Do you really understand what's going on? The Gen province could have a very capable military force!
I know. We need to dismiss the provincial lord of Ko and appoint the director of Ko province as the Taishi. The remaining lords can then become the royal court's ministers. Send messengers to summon them to Konkyu. Seisho.
Sir.
As of now, I am appointing you as the general of the royal army. You are to lead our troops to Ganboku in the Gen province and surround Ganboku Castle.
What can you do with no more than 7,500 men? The provincial castle will not fall so easily!
Calm down. I want you to understand something important. Of the provincial lords, none of the 8 were appointed by me.
Huh? You are correct. The provincial lords were appointed by the previous king.
I cannot leave Konkyu unguarded. If we mobilize the royal army, someone will definitely take the opportunity to launch an attack.
But Your Majesty...
No, listen. The Gen province has Rokuta captive, therefore it is not in their interest to send an army to invade Konkyu. However, we cannot sit around and wait for them to make their move. Even if they have 12,500 men and we manage to gather just as many, we cannot deploy all of them. Think about it. If we attack Gen with the same amount of men, it will be a long, drawn-out battle with no sides having a firm advantage. This should be clear to anyone, including the leaders that are in Gen. So then, what would their next logical move be?
They will most likely ask the neighboring lords to attack Konkyu, starting with the provincial lord of Ko.
That is why, as I said earlier, we cannot leave the city unguarded. The provincial army of Konkyu must stay here while we inform the neighboring provinces of the uprising.
What will our plan be in regards to capturing Gen province?
I leave that to Seisho. Launch a siege with the royal army of 7,500.
Against an army of that size?
They will most likely draft a few citizens and refugees, which means they might have 10,000 at the most. You can believe me on this. When I was visiting Ganboku, I was asked to join the provincial army. I cut some hay in front of them and they made me a squad leader.
When did you,
Still, if we intend to attack the provincial castle, it could take us well over a day. In the meantime, should something happen to the Taiho, it could bring you great misfortune, Your Majesty.
So should I accept Atsuyu's terms in order to save Rokuta's life?
No, Your Majesty.
A Kirin must choose the ruler for their kingdom. That is how things work in this world, am I correct? But whether they choose the king or the kingdom, as long as luck is on my side, I should manage to pull through somehow.
It's going to rain. Looks like it's too late to save the Rokusui River. If you were planning this all along, why didn't you do it sooner?
We wouldn't stand a chance if we just attacked Konkyu. So, I thought of using you, Rokuta. Are you mad?
No, I'm not.
It appears that the royal army is now making their move.
The army is headed here?
Yes, but with only 7,500 men.
Well, can they win?
If you are referring to the royal army, I do not plan to let them win without a hard fight. But if you mean us, I can only say we'll do the best we can.
Why do the two of you want to go to war so badly? Do either of you understand what the number 7,500 actually means? It's not merely a military statistic, it's a number of lives. Each with a family and a consciousness, every one representing so many more living beings.
Taiho, are you aware of just how many tens of thousands of innocent lives will be lost when the Rokusui floods? So, if I could save over 10,000 people by sacrificing 1,000 people today, then that is what I intend to do.
Shoryu said the same thing about why he would go to war.
If only His Majesty would step aside for Lord Atsuyu.
Shoryu would never step down from his throne, because deep down inside of him he wanted a kingdom.
I see. So His Majesty desired the throne.
Well, aren't you after the exact same thing?
I am not actually interested in the throne itself. In fact, I did not even go on Shozan when the last ruler died. The welfare of the people is all I care about. I understand now. To sit on the throne, that is the only thing that His Majesty has ever cared about.
You misunderstood me. That's not it.
We must join the fight so our families won't have to suffer anymore!
I'm gonna fight too. The king will make this kingdom prosper and make our lives easier.
We're signing up to go to Ganboku.
I can't believe this. War will only bring about suffering.
I'm going to Ganboku as well. Without the king, the kingdom will fall to ruin. I'm doing all this for you. It's to ensure we have a future.
My darling.
What is the matter?
It's the Daishiba. He would like to talk to us about something.
The Daishiba? And who's that?
Pardon me! It's me! Please forgive me!
What?
I have a message for the general from His Majesty. First, on your way to the Gen province, gather people and build an embankment along the Rokusui River near Ganboku.
Is he attempting to make amends for his laziness by doing this now?
Next, try not to do anything that would force me to take your head. It would be unfortunate if you lost your post as general.
Just what could he be thinking by joining the rebel army?
Well, perhaps he is attempting to infiltrate them from the inside. Look, His Majesty specifically ordered us to besiege Ganboku. He did not say to defeat it. And now he tells us this.
How reckless can His Majesty be? And what if he winds up getting himself killed in the war?
I'm sure he's considered that. And try not to forget that this war may determine whether or not he will live or die.
Taiho, I wonder, have you really no faith in the king when you yourself chose him to rule over the kingdom?
How can I have faith in him? It's very clear to everyone that the man's an idiot.
It pains me to hear you say that. Why do you insist on mocking His Majesty? Did you know that when I was first appointed to the post of ambassador, His Majesty actually apologized to me? You honor me with such an important task? I'm merely a judicial official, and yet you're assigning me to a post directly under you. I am grateful.
It is not necessary for you to thank me. If the provincial lord were to plot a rebellion against me, then your safety would most definitely be put in jeopardy. Asking you to serve in the provincial castle is the equivalent of asking you to give up your life if something should happen. I do not have many reliable officials. I wish I could spare you this task, but I was unable to find anyone suitable for this job other than yourself.
That your majesty regards me so highly is enough. Even if something should happen, I will have no regrets. I gladly accept the assignment.
Please forgive me.
Shoryu said that?
So you see, His Majesty is neither a fool nor irresponsible. He thinks things through when he needs to, and he takes the appropriate actions when they're called for. His Majesty simply doesn't always show this side of himself.
But even so, Shoryu is still a king. And a king will make his people suffer.
No, it's the other way around. The devastation of the kingdom is what brings suffering. There is no way for a kingdom or its people to survive without a king.
Ribi.
The royal army will no doubt be arriving here in Ganboku within a couple of days.
But Ribi...
Taiho, please return to the royal palace.
Ribi!
Already grown accustomed to having blood-stained hands. It is true, such things no longer bother me anymore. The 12 Kingdoms, Episode 43. The God of the Sea in the East, the Mighty Ocean in the West, Chapter 3.